Tell us what you're most excited to talk about today.
I'm most excited about sharing a variety of experiences in the hope that the audience sits there and they feel like they're relating with their own life experiences and they're getting emotional from that, and then that's inspiring them to make change in the future. That's the goal. And for me, to keep my shit together and not cry. Showtime. Hey, how are you? Yeah, so good to see you again. So cute with your hat.
How's it feel being back at your old school?
It's cool. It brings back so many memories of little things like where I used to sit and put my bag. It's cool.
Absolutely.
I love it.
Hello. Awesome. I wouldn't miss it.
Get your tissues ready. It's not
Our guest speaker, Alyse attended St. Luke's from 2004 to 2006, graduating with an OP4. She had a gap year living at home, playing soccer, working and saving money to go to the University of Queensland, where she lived at the Women's College between 2008 and 2009. For the next 2 years, Alyse played soccer for the Gap Premier Reserves in the Brisbane Women's Diamond League. In 2011, she graduated university with a Bachelor of Communications majors in Public Relations and Mass Communication. Between 2011 and 2017, Alyse worked in various public relations, sales, and business development roles, including a one-week internship with Channel 10, but decided journalism wasn't for her. Alyse had completed in half and full marathon runs and sprint distance triathlons, and is the only woman to complete a full 226-kilometer Ironman event. She lived in Shanghai for 6 months, working at a kindergarten teaching English. In 2018, until the current time, she started a consulting business, helping companies with sales and marketing. In 2020, Alyse launched Trillions podcast and is currently building a new business documenting the journey on YouTube and TikTok. Please welcome Alyse Orr.
Thank you for the warm welcome and for inviting me here today. You may recognise me if you watched Holy Moly last night. I was in the crowd cheering for my partner Jacinta Robinson. She was yelling girl to conquer the shark obstacle. It was so random how she got selected for the show, but that's a story for another day. Today I'm going to tell you 3 stories from my life. The first story is about creating your own opportunities. When I was around 10 years old, my mum asked me what sport I wanted to play as a co-curricular activity. I've been spending most of my lunchtimes playing soccer on the oval, so I told her I want to play soccer. She agreed, and I joined a local team and did really well. Who here likes soccer? Hands up. Who plays soccer? Wow, nobody likes soccer? I like soccer. Cool, nice. Great choice of sport for the 3 of you who put your hands up. A few years passed, and I moved from the Sunshine Coast to Bundaberg and joined St. Luke's in grade 10. I was shocked to find there was no girls' soccer team. So I went to the head of sport and asked him if I could join the boys' team instead. He said no. I was devastated. You see, growing up, I moved around and changed schools many times. Soccer had been the one thing that had been consistent in my life, and I wasn't willing to give it up. The next day, I was chatting with friends at lunchtime and joked that we could just create our own team. This gave me an idea. I got a notebook and went around one by one to all the girls in my grade, asking them, well, more like convincing them, to join my team. My 2 friends were the first to agree, even though they'd never played before. To make a team, I needed at least 11 people, plus a few substitute players. So to increase my chances of making the numbers, I spoke to literally everyone in my grade. I wanted this soccer team so badly, I even asked the popular girls to join. They laughed at me, mocked me, and of course didn't join. This hurt my feelings a little, but the thought of not playing soccer hurt more, so I shook it off and kept asking more people to join the team. After a few days, I had the team. I was so excited. However, none of these girls knew how to play. I told the head of sport what I'd organised, so he allocated a teacher supervisor, and once per week we had a training session. I took it upon myself to teach the girls the rules of the game, basic strategy and tactics. I was developing into a fine leader, and although the responsibility was daunting at times, I enjoyed the feeling of growing beyond my comfort zone. We weren't the most talented team out there at all the schools, that's for sure. However, we had a strong mission to do our best and have fun, and we made it all the way to the semi-finals. I clearly remember half-time, all huddled in a circle, being 1 goal down. The girls were disappointed, so I gave them a pep talk to remind them of how far we had come as individuals, starting from scratch, and as a team learning to work together. I had tears of gratitude, and I told everyone to go out there and finish the game playing hard. We played our hearts out and still lost that semi-final on the scoreboard, but we won the season with what we had achieved starting from zero. These girls all believed in my vision of creating a St. Luke's girls team, and along the way developed their confidence in their abilities to step outside their comfort zone. If I hadn't bothered to create this team, not only would I have missed out on playing my favourite sport, but these girls would never have experienced the teamwork and personal growth achieved in that season. My vision for that soccer team was so clear, and I wanted it so bad, that I didn't let anything stop me from making it happen. They say if you want something bad enough, you'll find a way. Otherwise, you'll make an excuse. My second story is about being resourceful. When I graduated university, I thought I had the golden ticket to every entry-level job in that industry. One week, I did 3 interviews for public relations jobs, and at each one, they told me they wouldn't hire me because I didn't have any experience. I felt defeated. 12 years of high school and 3 years of study, and I couldn't get a job. What more did I have to do? I thought back to creating the St. Luke's girls team, soccer team, and remembered how determined I was. This gave me a boost. I asked myself a better question. How can I make this happen? Back at uni, one of my lecturers, Susie, had worked with PR and drummed 2 key things into us. One was to join the Public Relations Institute of Australia, PRIA. 2 was to network our asses off. So I did. I bought a ticket to one of PRIA's upcoming events. I thought maybe there would be an opportunity there. Maybe I could ask someone there to hire me. I arrived and it felt like I was the youngest person there by 10 years. I found my seat at a table with 9 others, all from the same company. Immediately, they asked me if I was at the correct table. I checked and I was right. Then they asked me which PR agency I was from. I told them, none, I'm here by myself. They seemed confused. This is an awards night, they told me, as if I wasn't meant to be there unless I was from one of these agencies. Then they asked me about my age and my goals. I was completely honest. I told them I was 21 and recently graduated uni and I was looking for a job, and thought this event would be a good place to meet some people who could employ me. There to me in a turn from curiosity to respect. One lady in particular, Donna, was extremely impressed by my initiative and took me under her wing, parading me around like one of those show dog people with a cute puppy. She then introduced me to all the agency owners she knew, explaining my situation as we went. It was a daunting yet exciting experience once I realised I was in the room with some of the best from around the country. I collected a bunch of business cards and followed up all of them the next day. Donna was the one who offered me an internship where I worked for free a couple of days per week. I learned so much after 3 months and was offered a full-time job. This made me realise just how powerful I am. That I didn't have to wait for opportunities to be handed to me. I can go out there and get them for myself. My final story is about never giving up on yourself. In March 2014, I was walking down the sand to Frankston Beach in Melbourne. I was crying, sobbing uncontrollably. I was extremely anxious. In the water and on the beach was 2,000 other athletes preparing to start their race. I could barely see water, there were so many people. They all looked so professional. I was scared of the unknown. All the possible outcomes were racing through my head. Plus, swimming was my weakest leg. A moment of doubt got to me. What have I got myself into? What if I can't make it? I should just quit now before it starts. It's not too late. I seriously considered leaving the race. I'd never done anything more than a sprint distance triathlon, and here I was, about to race in a full Ironman. For those of you who don't know, an Ironman is a triathlon with a 3.8 kilometre ocean swim, 180 kilometre bike ride, and a 4.2 kilometre marathon run, back to back, non-stop. I know that exercise helps calm anxiety, so I jumped up and down a few times and chanted to myself, I've got this, I've got this. I walked to the back of the pack, into the ocean with the water up to my knees. The horn went off and I leapt forward and started swimming freestyle. It was frantic. People were swimming over the top of each other, and then it happened to me. My heart was racing and I struggled to breathe. I came up and gasped for air. Someone whacked my goggles, crooked, so I stopped and got out of the way of all the other swimmers. This was madness. I thought, I can't do this. I moved out of the pack, fixed my goggles, and started doing breaststroke so I could catch my breath. I was slow and people were passing me by the hundreds. I was ready to put my hand up and ask to be taken out of the race, like many others I saw quitting. But then I noticed something. The ocean was calm, the sun was shining, and there were others behind me going slow. I felt less alone. I felt a sense of relief. I stopped focusing on racing and instead focused on enjoying the process. I smiled. Eventually there was a pack of us doing whatever we could to keep moving forward in the race. We were talking to each other and joking. It was fun. When I came out of the water after 3 hours of swimming, I knew with certainty that I had overcome a major mental obstacle and that I would finish this race no matter what. After 14 hours, 44 minutes and 23 seconds, I crossed the finish line. That moment finishing, however, didn't feel anywhere near as good as overcoming those mental obstacles during the swim, ride and run. Life is like an Ironman. It's a marathon and not a sprint. Keep moving forward, enjoy the journey, and don't be in a hurry to finish. It's been so lovely coming back here to my high school. On my last day of school, I remember being 16 years old with mixed feelings of, hooray, I'm done with school forever, and what the heck do I do now? Real quick, show of hands, who here knows exactly what you want to do when you finish school? A few of you, that's cool, it's okay if you don't know yet. Guess what? When I was your age, I didn't know either. In fact, for many years after school, I still didn't know. In the 14 years since graduating, I've done so many different things. I've been a bartender, babysitter, retail assistant, public relations expert, marketing manager, Uber driver, kinder teacher, and a few other things. I was obsessed with figuring out what to do. But life is less about what you do and more about who you become in the process. You don't have your entire life figured out at 16, or even at 31 for that matter. You have faith, and you figure it out as you go. Thank you.
So we can accept this gift as a small token of our appreciation.